Hi guys, and welcome to the first room tour of 2017. I thought I would give you an update on all the geckos, even the ants, because I know you didn't get an update on them at the end of last month. And yeah, just show you around. We're going to start off out here with the only two purchases that I made from the Boxing Day and New Year's sale, which are some planters. I really needed some because I had a fairy garden out here and it's not doing well, so they really need to be repotted. So I have a cactus in there and a type of aloe vera. So the first gecko tank we're looking at is Isla's, and since I have some decent light in here I can actually show you these things. And they're these green deposits that are made all along the, like, really deep down in the dirt, where they're like obviously worm tunnels and everything. But does anyone know what on earth these are? They're like bright green as well. So now into Isla's tank. So she's of course in her coconut. I don't know how far up we can get this camera. It makes a lot of sound. There she is, asleep. She is still carrying eggs, unfortunately. Really don't know what to do with that. As you can see, she has an egg laying thing at the back there. I'm out of ideas. I was feeling them last night, like the eggs in her, because they're so easy to feel and they feel fairly small, so unless there's some sort of blockage you'd imagine she could probably lay them. And this is going to be a little bit TMI, but before Christmas she started to go into the loo and it was a lot bigger than usual, and I thought maybe she's dilating, but yeah, nothing came of that. As for her plants, they're not looking too great. The only one that's still doing well is the golden pothos, and that's really growing. I can never grow bromeliad pups, they just do not grow for me. The bamboo is still here. This is looking a little worse for wear. This is a bromeliad pup from a Guzmania bromeliad I had downstairs. These have never really grown. The wandering Jews have grown crazy, but they don't really know what to do with themselves. But besides that, her tank isn't looking overly healthy, so I think I need to make a few extra plant purchases very soon. So let's just have a sneak peek at these leopard geckos here. So it's Ziggy and Minnie. They are obviously asleep. Does anyone else's gecko do what Ziggy does? So I really need to clean it out, obviously, but she'll go to the loo and then sort of walk through it and kick it, and then it looks messier. But she's asleep. Her appetite is still amazing. I don't know if you can see this, but Minnie's actually not in her warm hide, she is in her cold hide, which is very annoying. If we look very carefully, you can see her little head just through that entrance of the hide. So for some reason she prefers a cold hide today. Now to Lyra's tank. So where is she asleep? Let's see if we can have a look, because I cannot see right now. I don't think she's in her coconut. She's been changing her places recently and I can't find her. When I do, I'll point her out. So as for her plants, the ground ones are crazy. They're doing really well and they've actually grown in between all the anthurium and everything. And the anthurium, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I always say it, don't know if it's right. Anyway, that one's finally getting like a flower on, like the colour. So we're going to get that soon, unless Lyra knocks it off. For some reason, right back in this corner and all up here, this always like stays soaked. I don't know why. You can probably tell that I'm filming this in the morning and I've just woken up because my voice sounds a little bit different. But yeah, that's a corner where the spider lives and I really need to get that out. But other than that, her tank is doing fairly well with plants, and I think it's because the Jungle Dawn's bigger. Like, I know you only need a smaller one in like Isla's size tank, but I just feel like there's more oomph here. Also, if we look right at the back, you know, maybe some of you were watching it before when I said about this particular pothos was growing up the back. Well, if we look, can you see how much it's grown? I clipped it right back here and it's now growing, so very happy with that. Pilea died out here and I ended up cutting it back, so it could grow back. Does anyone else find that in their plants in the winter they start to die down? I know a lot of plants you have to water less in the winter. I don't know if that's the same with terrariums. This snake plant, don't know what this is, but this particular leaf just decided to grow a lot more than the others. Right, I don't know if you're going to see her head, but this little orange thing is the top of her head, and she's buried herself in all the wood chippings and put moss on her head. So yeah, if you're about to get a crested gecko, it's quite fun trying to look for them every morning in their tank. Now we have Gizmo's tank, and I have to say, I thought it would be cool to like film in the daytime because I have natural light, but it really reflects on the glass, so I've actually had to open her door. She's not happy with me. I also had to put on her light so you can actually see her. Look at her little face, I just woke her up. Sorry, Gizmo. Then last but not least out of the geckos we have Diego, and Diego's actually been spending long periods of time asleep in his cold hide, and that's exactly what he's doing right now, and I hate to disturb him. Hey boy! You see him? Probably isn't in focus, but it's very hard when I have a massive camera crushing my hand right now. But yeah, he is spending a lot of time in a cold hide, pretty much having no food. Like even waxworms I offered him he didn't want, so I've just, you know, I figured he's brumating, let's just leave him be. It's funny though because a lot of people got new geckos over Christmas, and so I got a lot of messages of worried owners, like if their gecko was shedding, if it was closing one eye and opening the other, like little things like that. And I think even though you do still worry about your pets, there's a point when you've had them so long and you sort of know their behaviour that you're like, yeah, I know what he's doing. He'll be alright. So you mellow out a little bit. One of the last plant related things I'll show you is I got this like greenhouse terrarium thing. Basically I thought that maybe if I have any cuttings from the bigger terrariums that I just want to, you know, let grow a bit without getting trampled by geckos, they could go in here, and also some of the succulents need moving so they can go in here. And I think this, what is this, by Cuckoo or something. Actually, I was reading this label, and it's always kind of good when you read something like that and you're like, oh, I got something good. I did something good to the world. And then when you want to open the door, you literally just pop this up and put the plants in. And what's good is, because I think my friend has one of these, and he always has to lift one of the lids, but this actually doesn't have anything here, so there's still an airflow, so you don't have to lift the roof up all the time. So well, that's pretty cool. So we're taking a quick detour out of the room to come and see the ants, which I haven't looked at since I put them out here. In my last ant update, everyone said make sure they are properly hibernating, so I put them in the coldest room of the house, and it's where I hibernated Harry the Hawk Moth when he is in a chrysalis, so I know it works out here, and it's very cold at the moment. I put this around them to make sure it kept dark all the time. It's probably got some cat hair and stuff all over it because the cat's probably been around it, but let's see how they're doing. Oh, they're still alive, that's good. Oh, I was worried I was going to open it up and they weren't going to be alive. So here they are. Either all the workers have suddenly gone right near the queen, or they've all ran out, so you can only see a few. But there's definitely a lot, and there's the larvae. I can't see any pupae, I think they all hatched out before they hibernated. I'm going to give them some fresh water because I've just looked in their outworld and the water has once again sort of congealed as some sort of syrup-like substance. But I'm glad to see they're all doing well. Oh my god, I was about to pack up my camera and go back upstairs, and I just noticed this. Do you see right here? They've blocked that up with the excavated clay. So they've done what they're meant to do in the wild, block up their nest for the winter. That's so cool to see. It's good to know I'm doing a good thing for once. Also, whilst we are out here, I do want to quickly do a little update on Teddy. So when I last recorded him, it was just before New Year. I can't remember the exact date, but it was a little while ago. And since then, he is still on his food, but he's just... You have a little yawn there? He's just, for me, because I see him every day, I know what he's like, I just feel like he's just lost a little spark, you know? He's just not his self, he's not as vocal. So I am looking into getting him another cage mate. That was always sort of on the cards because he is still very young. He's like a year and a half, maybe 2. And even though PB only lasted about 3.5 years, which I think is the same time his dad did, and the genetics weren't ideal, I guess, because obviously if his dad's dying at that age. So hopefully Teddy has a lot longer, and I don't want him to be alone. He's been a guinea pig that's been surrounded by other guinea pigs his entire life. So So that is on the cards. I am looking into it, and although I don't think I'll ever be totally over peewee, I have been reading a lot about the guinea pigs and bereavement and all that, and it is, you know, sort of suggested that they need a new cage mate maybe before even you are ready. So if that does appear, that does happen, don't think that I've just replaced peewee, I've just moved on, I'm like, yeah, get me another guinea pig. It's been very, very difficult for me, but I'm trying to do what's best for my guinea pig right now. So if that happens, that's what's going on. And the last thing I'm going to show you is this night vision camera. I basically just wanted some cheap little Wi-Fi one that could pop in their tanks and hopefully capture some of their behaviours at night. So that might be coming soon if this actually works. I haven't tried it yet. But basically the geckos tend to be more active at night, and 2 reasons I filmed this room tour in the morning. 1, because we have natural light, and 2, because I think it gives you a decent representation of what geckos are like in the morning and like the daytime. They're not going to be happy if you pick them up and take them out and try to feed them and stuff like that. If you are thinking about getting a gecko, just be aware that I would probably leave them throughout the day until about 6 PM and then I can interact with them. So they're definitely not pets that you can pick up whenever you want. They're not that active in the daytime or morning, that's just them. And I think it's good to respect that, that's just their natural way. So yeah, you may not have seen too much of them and they may be very sleepy, but that is geckos, and that's geckos in the morning. So, you know, morning room tour. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and thank you very much for watching.